say a gift from God to me to be able to walk with, not all of you, because some of you are theology majors and I haven't had the pleasure of getting to know you, but for those of us that are in counseling, the ability to walk next to you, hopefully not in front of you, but maybe even sometimes behind you. You're done, but you're not really done, and that's tough and seniorize. We can be with our clients or family members, or again, even ourselves sometimes, that healing.
December. Yeah, it took me 5 years. I started in 2020 part-time, and last year I basically full-time finished my degree. So what I learned in the Western Seminary is very, very inspiring. You know, it's not only that that's a class we took. The most impressive thing for me is a professor. You know, it's the life, right? The spiritual life of the professor. How the, you know, let's see how they really serve these people, how they treat this that's biblical, you know, this truth, right? It's very, very inspiring. I think, you know, this all the professors could role model in my life. So I want to take the journey, you know, when I serve in this church, in the different other places. So we want to follow the role model, to be the role model, you know, to be a witness for Jesus Christ. Yeah.
I'm a counseling student here at Western. I still have a semester left, so I'm the one that Judy was, or the ones that we are still have some time. But I just wanted to come up here and just say thank you to all of you, especially Judy and Polly and Sayla. We've been in this together, and Christy, who also has been one of my professors, and I don't know if any, Annie, I know you were in counseling, Michael, trying to see if there's anybody else, but yeah, I came into this program really just not sure what I was going to do with my life. Like, I didn't grow up being like, I'm going to be a counselor and I'm going to do all this stuff, and but the Lord has just been so gracious to me in my life. There's a lot of things, a lot of past things that I was working through coming into this program, and the Lord has just been so good. Yeah, I even as in the middle of this program, I was still kind of like, is this what I want to be doing? I don't know. And Polly and Judy especially have just been amazing lights in my life, in the ways that you guys encourage all of your students, the way that you guys show up for us each and every day. And I don't think I could have done that without your guys' support, so thank you both so much. Christy too, your support, even though we had one class together, still such a great support. And
so I needed to calm down a little bit, but I was thinking how the time goes by so fast. So from the time that most of us, but like Judy and I did most of your interviews, and the process has changed a little bit, I was just thinking, to me, I feel like God talks to me about each of you. And when Judy and I go over your outcome summary to make our recommendations to admissions, I know for me, I always think, how do I want, I want to watch how my student unfolds over time. Despite how busy both Judy and I are, and there's so many loose ends, and we always rely on students to email us and ask lots of questions, I just always think, is what I'm seeing from point A, when you guys first apply, is what unfolds over time. And it's really like a gift to see that process unfold. And I always feel like the position that I've been given is just one of being really humble to God, because in my classes, I always say, once you graduate, we're colleagues. It's no longer a student-professor relationship. And counseling is such an interesting field, because I might be done being a professor and I might be working out in the field, and you might be my supervisor at one point. And so I always think of that when God gives us a gift like counseling and sitting with other people and stewarding students' lives through, I don't want to get emotional, but through the counseling process, that my position with God is always to be humble to that and to see what He's equipped me with, that I do my due diligence to equip my students with, and even more. And that when they get out into the world, hopefully they have good thoughts and good feelings about how they've been prepared at Western. And I just think the counseling world is so small that you're going to run into each other, including your faculty. You're going to think about your faculty, you're going to run into your faculty again. And so I think God is so interesting because He's so intricate in how He knits us together and what He continues to do in our lives. And so I just think I love seeing students when they first start. Some students are just confident throughout the entire program, but that's really, really rare. But students that start and they're nervous, or they're in my suicide prevention class, so some of you start with suicide prevention, which is so intense, and some people are quiet, some people cry, some people share, and then as you progress through, and then seeing you in practicum, and seeing you sit with people for the first time, and not sometimes even trusting your own abilities to sit with people, and then just kind of taking off from there is so exciting on this end, to watch and observe and to just see. I get to see how powerful God is, not just in my work with you each as students, but in your lives and what He's doing and where He's going to, how He's going to shape you and where He's going to put you. And I can't begin to say like how rewarding that task is on this end. Because it's like we get to not only teach, but we get to observe and we get to remember probably what it was like for us at some point being students, and how our journey unfolds just as faculty. But just that, for me, the excitement, and I think for Judy too, that excitement never dies out, just kind of hearing about where you guys are, what are you doing, how are you changing the world out there. And so I just love that. I think all of our work is sewn so beautifully together through the work of God and God's love, and it's so powerful to see how you each are going to go out. You already are going out. Chances are you were doing this work way before you became a counselor to pick up the skills, and then now you're going to go out into the world and give away those skills and really touch other people's lives in a way that hopefully your lives were touched. So I just want to say thank you, because for me it's been just like an honor and a gift to work with each of you. So that's it.
Thank you. Mission has become our vacation. And not a lot of people have that, land there. So I think back to what Polly was saying, when we can show up and be the authentic person that God's created us to be, there's a freedom in that. And there's I don't have to be who somebody else needs me to be. And God is forming me to continue to be.
You probably know any of you now, but I taught a class I'm Thomas Lucking. I taught a class this past semester. I taught a whole bunch at Western a few years ago. And I taught at a bunch of institutions, and I really appreciate Western's obviously spiritual focus, the connection to God, and the dedication and the devotion of all the students, which really makes such a difference when we're out there. But the thing I guess I want to build on what Judy said is the freedom that I feel as an adjunct professor here. I love the flexibility, and we had a really fun class this past semester. We covered all the core topics, but we also dove into some really interesting topics like neurofeedback and a deep dive into EMDR and brain spotting and all kinds of demos and guest people coming in. And I'm not always able to do that at other institutions. It's much more structured, there's less freedom. So I always appreciate the gift of being able to teach here, and the flexibility of the students too. The students are like, oh, okay, let's go with that. Because just the nature of our profession requires flexibility, right? You're not dealing with, 2 + 2 = 4, okay, done, see you later. The human experience is very complex, so I think the Western academic culture and philosophy, in my experience teaching here, has reflected that, and I think it serves the students well as you go out. and you are flexible yourself, always learning. And I always say, I always learn the most from my clients. They teach me the most, but I have to go in there with a certain idea of where we want to go, but I gotta be flexible. So I love how Western promotes that, and I'm grateful to God for whenever I get to teach here. And I say, keep up that model, and I think it will continue to serve you and all the people that you serve really well.